you monitoring your red for?
I just want to see if I'm focused.
Are you?
Fuck, it looks good, huh? Hey, all of you people on YouTube, you guys are lucky. The production value of this podcast is really good.
Oh, I'm even in the frame here. Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. How are you?
Doing good. What about you? You brought me this mate, which makes me very happy.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Anytime.
So I'm ready to do another episode.
And again, Perrier sponsor us.
Mate, El Tony Mate would also be. I'll just put this right here.
Yeah,
under the
free
light.
advertisement.
Right under the light, right where it looks good. Just saying, looks really good on this podcast. We're talking about something.
Oh, so no foreplay,
no,
just like
straight-
okay, yeah, nice,
Straight in.
nice.
We're talking about something uncomfortable today.
Oh shit, what is
Yeah.
it?
Because I had a little wiggle the other day. Wiggle jiggle.
My money don't jiggle. It
It
folds.
Yeah.
What's the rest of the thing?
I don't know. It's been
I
that trend has been is way back.
Yeah.
No, but I had a little jiggle wiggle, not a folding, but a jiggle wiggle the other day, and where my hard drive stopped working, and all my projects were on that one.
Nice.
And,
Must be nice.
Yeah, I folded.
Mm.
It jiggled, and I folded.
Shit.
And that made me need to work things out with my storage solutions.
So you lost
and-
everything?
No, I didn't lose anything, luckily, because my storage
Oh.
solution was good enough. It wasn't nearly perfect, but it was good
Nice.
enough. I had backups, of course, and it worked. Everything worked out. I was even able. So what happened is I had a raid, and even on the same day I was working on it, and after lunch it just didn't attach to my computer anymore. It just didn't find it, and I couldn't access the files on it. And I had to go to a professional. Had it worked out. Had them find the files on it, recover them, and it worked out. I even had a backup, but it was like
The backup
6 days.
failed as well.
No, I didn't
Okay.
fail, but it was like 6 days old, and I was working on it,
Ooh.
and I wasn't 99% would have been saved, but I wasn't 100% sure what I did in the past 6 days.
That mate
And
is
what-
working. You burp, huh?
And I wasn't sure what I need to figure out if it's still there or not. So I just went the safe route. I was like, let's let them check out, and they found everything.
How did you do?
So just to kind of do this full circle.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about storage solutions today and what are possible solutions, what is our solutions, and just talk about our
very
experience with
important
it.
topic.
Yeah, uncomfortable but important.
Yeah, very technical.
What was your question?
No, I think we're gonna get back to it. I want to know how you got all your files back, because I've heard horror stories of people losing everything.
I didn't
and,
lose anything.
Okay, that's
what
nice.
I did is I tried my own research. I found some softwares that can recover, and I used Disk Drill specifically, and that worked really well. So I found all the files, but I wasn't, because I've never done this. I wasn't 100% sure if this is going to work, if I'm really going to be able to recover, because I've heard stories of, you can recover them, but then they're corrupted.
Yeah.
So you can't use them.
Mhm.
And what's the point? So I was just like, let's go the safe route. Let's go to a professional and let's see what they can do. I think I paid $180
Oh,
for
that's
them
all
to
right.
recover the whole thing. I was like, fine. And in the end, they ended up using this drill,
Really?
which they told me, which proves that I was going the right route. And
Yeah.
next time I will try to do it myself. But I'm glad I did it this
Would
route.
you?
I would,
Really?
yeah. I would try it at least. And then if it doesn't work,
Yeah.
I'm now having some experience with it.
So hold up. So you're working off hard drives and not SSDs?
No,
So can you, maybe for the people, so we're talking a lot of specific stuff now, but maybe talk about your whole storage solution from,
that would be
editing,
interesting.
backup, and
I'll
hot
go-
backups and storage.
I just wanted to tell you this story, what made me rethink everything.
Yeah.
And that shit like this happens.
Fuck,
and
that's
that's
scary.
a small reminder to everyone.
Yeah.
sort your storage solutions out because the day is gonna come. Yeah, I mean, I didn't do anything wrong. Nothing moved. It was just one day like this, and the other. I mean, the 1 second like this, the next second it's not working.
Could they explain at the store
No.
like they could?
They didn't know what was happening. Nothing. But
So it's not like a power surge or like a
no.
outage. or
And
something.
the drives are still fine. So I deleted everything. I
Formatted.
formatted the
Yeah.
drives. I'm not using them anymore.
Yeah, throw them out.
I don't know. I still have them, but they seem fine. But I still bought some new ones, just to be safe. Yeah, and that made me rethink the whole solution thing. And I thought we could talk about our like storage solutions and everything.
Yeah, it's gonna
yeah.
be. It's very important, very interesting. I think because like it's a painful process sort of, and it's hard to like find the solution that fits your needs and also your budget because like you could have like the safest solution ever, but like hard drives will fail eventually. That's what you meant earlier, and like it's not like I think there's this quote.
Rule.
It's not a matter of if the hard drive is gonna fail; it's more like when the hard drive is gonna fail. So this is a good reminder for everyone, and I'm happy to hear that like you recovered all the files. 'Cause I've heard like so many horror stories where like people just like lost everything and non-recoverable. So.
Yeah, maybe we should. I mean, that led me to like research a lot and figure out what should I do, how do other people do it, and it wasn't too easy, honestly, to figure out how other people did it because everyone has other needs, has another setup, has other work, has other files.
Yeah.
So for everyone, it's individual, but there's some ground rules that you can follow that really help.
Yeah.
And I think maybe I can just. I mean, these are not my rules. I didn't invent them. I just found them online, which helped me do my storage solution. For example, one of them is what you just said. Drives are going to fail.
Yeah.
You need to be safe and you need to be prepared if it does. You need to go all eventualities through. That's definitely like the first rule. And then what I found as well is just a general rule is have 2 backups of everything. So like three versions, 1 original and 2 backups. And then store these 2 backups that you have in 2 different places. That's like a general rule that will help you. I don't know, most of the time you will have some backup because if your office breaks down, burns down, whatever, you still have 1 backup somewhere else because you can have 10 copies of your files, but if they're in the same place and it gets flooded, it burns, stuff gets stolen, someone breaks in, it's gone.
Yeah.
So that's like also a very important rule that
I think that's one of the most important rules
Yeah.
to have like different locations
Yeah.
for the hard drives, which I
And
don't do at the moment. All my hard
you
drives are
don't?
in the office behind us, so no bueno.
don't disclose this location because if someone breaks in here, oof.
Yeah.
No, I think nobody has to. I mean, nobody. Maybe there's some people, but most people don't have a perfect storage solution. But just being aware of that is already a really good. It's like the first step, being aware, like this is not perfect. I need to figure it out.
At least 3 backups.
Yeah,
Different
that's
locations.
for sure. And I think the most, like for me, the most imminent threat is just breaking down drives.
Yeah.
So having 3 backups in the first place is really important.
Yeah.
And then placing them in other places. What else? Do you know any other rules?
I mean, the 3 backup rule is like one of the most important, and I think this is on my mind on every shoot. Like every time I shoot something, I go home, I immediately back up everything on at least 2 drives. So I have 1 drive on my card, and 2 on like the hot backup drives, as I call them. And this is until I do this and I finalize the backups, my day is not done because like I'm so stressed.
Yeah.
But I've heard like people don't give a fuck about this, and like sometimes they just have like 1 copy. On,
They
like,
will
a card.
learn someday.
Yeah, and they will learn the hard way.
You'll learn the hard way, and then you will figure it out. It's always the same.
Yeah.
You hear horror stories, and then people go about it like, oh, I need to figure it out.
Yeah.
But before we go into our own storage solutions, I have one more rule that I just forgot.
That's very nice. Clip this.
What
Clip
was I
this.
gonna say?
Clip this. It's gonna be a real.
No, I have it. Yeah, it's cool. It's back. So what's also a really important rule is that you make that no matter how good your storage solution is, if it's not easy enough to do on a regular basis, it doesn't help you. Because if you need to manually back up drives and get them from home, plug them in, power, back up. You're not going to do this on a daily or a weekly basis.
Yeah.
It's going to be a pain in the ass. So it's rather imperfect. I would say it's rather an imperfect storage solution, but it's something that you back up, like you can do on a regular basis, that you're actually going to do, and not like have this crazy perfect storage solution, but then you do it twice a year because the backing up, because it's just a pain in the ass. So I think you need to make it as easy as possible and as automated as possible, so that you have like, I don't know, like a fixed time when you back it up, or it even backs up automatically. There's super good softwares. We're going to talk about it later. Yeah, that's also a very important rule.
I'm very eager, and I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say, because like my workflow at the moment is very much so of manually back up everything.
Yeah.
Which is in a way kind of reassuring for me, because like I know everything, but as you said, the process is just like a hassle sometimes. It's super annoying, and it's kind of long. So yeah, so maybe we can jump right into like what your new storage, because your old storage solution, it was kind of messed up apparently.
It wasn't horrible, but it was just not thought through.
So let's talk about like what you learned. And
so for me, what I do now, I have 3 stages of storage. One is ongoing work. The second is...
Don't hit the table too much. Because of the...
Oh. Did you hear that? 2 is done work, and stage 3 is archived work. That's the 3 stages I have.
So it's, say again? It's
ongoing, done, archived.
Okay.
So ongoing work is what the name says. It's work that I'm still working on, editing. It's still not approved. It's not delivered to the client, blah, blah. That's living on for me, it's a 4 terabyte SSD that is always attached to my computer. So it's an external SSD, but it's always attached. So I could take it away, but I never do. That's where my work lives. That one is copied, like we said, to backup 2 times. Once, I use a cloud software called Backblaze, which automatically uploads it to the cloud as soon as I throw something on it. So that's loads it up. One backup is in the cloud, and one backup is on another SSD that I can take with me in case I want to work somewhere else.
So is this process automated?
So the cloud is automated. The 4 terabyte that I'm taking with me, I still have to figure out how I want to do that, because I don't want to leave it attached to my computer all the time. Because, and someone only just like a few days back or a few weeks back, told me about this, also this threat that I didn't think about it. Because if someone were to hack your computer, if it's always attached, everything that's attached is, this person is going to be able to hack it and get access to it. But if you take it off, then it's something that's not attached to the internet at that moment.
Fair enough.
And I have to figure that one out. That one is not perfect.
It could be like something backed up like daily, like at the end of each day.
Yeah, but you would have to manually plug it in.
True.
And then, so it's something I need to figure out.
True, yeah.
And then when I'm done with that project,
delivered, validated.
Approved, done, paid, the job is done. I then put this on the done work. That's a RAID I have on my desk. That's, for me, it's 2 times 12 terabytes, and it's a RAID 1, so it's mirroring in itself. There's 2 drives in it, so in the end I have 12 terabytes of storage, and it mirrors that all the time. So whenever
if one drive fails,
the other is copied. And that one, so it's mirrored in itself, and it's also uploaded to that Backblaze cloud.
Okay, so Backblaze, you'll have the ongoing projects, and then you have the backups,
the done projects.
Done project.
Yeah.
Which are essentially the same files.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just in another drive at the end. So there's also 3 copies. Mm-hmm. There's also the problem that the 2 copies are in the same place.
Yeah.
So I still need to figure that out if I want to.
I mean, you have one in the cloud anyway.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true. So. But that's, we'll go on. And then after like a year of having it on the done work, because for me the problem was I had a lot of times done work that like clients might not have the file anymore. They need the file back, or they might need some adjustments. They have a new logo. They want to put this in, whatever. And I didn't want to have like because when we go to the archived one, that's a bit more cumbersome to reattach it and find the files. So for me, it helps having this for a year or like 6 months, something between that, having it like right available on my desk and being able to pull that off and not needing to go get the drives.
Yeah, for sure.
Because my archive is more further down the workflow. Yeah, so that's why I have this done work RAID, which is much slower because the SSDs are very fast. I edit on them, and the done work, it doesn't need to be fast. It just needs to be safe. Yeah. That's why it's in RAID 1. And then when that's done, after a year, I put the done work on the archived work. These are just
3.5s.
Yeah. SATA drives, I think. Yeah. Very slow drives, very cheap drives, which I put the projects on. I delete them from the done work RAID. It goes on one of these drives, and it gets copied, so twice. So there's always mirror drives, and then one copy stays in the office, and one goes home. Yep. And that's the way I have the archived work, which I almost never have to get back. But if I do, it's a process because I need to get. These are drives that are in a like a, how do you call it, like a box, a Peli case. Yeah. So you need to go get the Peli case. You need to get the adapter to read them. You need to power that, get on that, get stuff down. So it's a very long process. And if big files, since its reading speed is very slow, you're gonna wait for it to come down. Yeah. So, and that one has just 2 copies, one at home, one in the office.
Yeah, you don't need more than that.
And basically, that's the storage solution. Maybe important to say, what I do, I don't keep all the files. That's just for me. Like when I shoot, I don't keep all the footage. What I do is I consolidate the projects.
Oh, fair enough, yeah.
So it stays on the done work, all the footage for a year, if the client needs something. And then after a year, I consolidate it, keep only the footage that's used in the video. It goes on the archive, and that's it.
So in your contract, you have something stating that you keep the entirety of the footage for like a year, and then you delete whatever is not used.
And I give the option to keep it forever.
Yeah. Makes
or
sense.
Buy it.
Makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. That's a pretty safe, I think. Before we talk a little bit further about this, we're not the big production companies, so I'm sure like if you run like a bigger production companies, you probably have servers and stuff. To our level of stuff that we do, especially if we shoot a lot for other people, we don't necessarily need like all those servers or like big like in-house storage solutions. So something like in between manual and like automated is like
also
good
depends
enough.
on how many people need to be able to access it.
Exactly.
Yeah. And what I also found out researching it, just quickly, I want to hear your workflow. Is I didn't know that that SSDs might be faster and like less prone to problems. Yeah. Because they're not physical drives that are writing, so you can move them if they're writing. But once they do fail,
it's out. Yeah.
It might not be out, but it's much harder to recover. Apparently, I didn't know that. And HDDs or 3.5 drives, whatever, are the opposite. So they are much more prone to problems because they have a physical needle that is writing on the disk. Yeah. But the recovery process is much easier, so they're much safer to recover. So
makes sense.
Maybe that might be interesting for some people, or also for your storage solution.
This is you have to take that into consideration when you're like building your storage thing. Yeah. But yeah, that's
Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
No.
That was interesting.
I figured like on SSDs, like if you were to like corrupt the SSD, like all the files would be gone because like it's just like digital. Like there's no like hard like a hard copy.
But I mean, you can still recover some. It depends on the case, but it's apparently much harder.
How fast is it to upload? Because like you mentioned Backblaze, and I think Backblaze is one of the. It's pretty like. It's a well-known solution apparently, and it's pretty convenient as well because I've heard that Backblaze, if you were to like lose your data, they have a service where you could just ask them and they would send you a hard drive with all your files on it as well, which is super nice. You don't have to download everything if you have like tons of terabytes.
That's the only downside if you have it in a cloud. If you need to access it quickly, it's going to take, download 2 terabytes of footage from the cloud. It's going to be days.
How fast is it to upload though?
It's very fast. I'm very surprised at how fast it is, because I've been using Google Drive for like my documents and client stuff, not footage. And it's sometimes when I have bigger stuff,
it's slow.
It's very slow.
Yeah.
And I was scared with Backblaze. It would just take days, and then maybe the process, you turn off your computer because you're leaving the office, and then it stops, and then the next day it doesn't know where it was.
Yeah.
But I can tell you from my experience, it's amazing at how it just does it automatically. Sometimes I don't, and also you don't notice it.
So it's always
I
on.
thought my system was going to be super slow because it's constantly uploading like very big files. But I don't even notice it. It's just constantly on. As soon as you turn your computer on and the drives are attached, it just does its magic and it's up. It's crazy.
Nice.
It's really crazy.
That's pretty cool.
And I remember at the beginning, I had I think the beginning I had 6 terabytes to start with to upload, or 6 or 7, somewhere there. And it took like 2 days and it was up, which is very fast.
Yeah, fairly fast.
And I think it depends on your internet connection, of course, but generally it can upload to like a terabyte a day.
Yeah, I think
mine was even faster. Now it's like 3 terabytes a day. I don't know. It really depends on how intensely you use your computer doing that, because it can put more.
Of course.
I'm not very technical with this, but it's surprisingly fast. I didn't think it was going to be this fast. It's really usable. Nice. And that's also why I stayed with it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to transition and move to Backblaze instead of like Dropbox, because I think Dropbox just removed. You could have like, until recently you had unlimited terabytes of cloud space on Dropbox. They don't have that
option anymore?
They don't. I think they just removed it from their offering. And
I'm
I think
glad, because I was looking at that as well as an option.
I think a lot of people now are going to go to Backblaze for.
Backblaze is not the only option, I have to say. There's other options that offer the same.
But the name Backblaze often comes up when you talk about like online cloud
because
storage.
Also, the price is unbeatable.
How much is it?
I pay 7 Swiss francs per month.
So $7.
$7 the same. For unlimited data. And
That's
it's really
crazy.
unlimited. So I have, like I said, my computer is also backed up.
Yeah.
So no more Time Machine. My whole computer is backed up. I still do Time Machine from time to time, but much less frequent.
I've never used Time Machine
really?
ever. No. Yeah. When it first started, I think I used it a little bit, but I was like, fuck this. Like, can be asked.
And so it's my computer and the 2 drives I told you about. Altogether, it's like at the moment, I think 8 terabytes.
Yeah.
And it's no problem, really. And
that's
like
nice.
you said, they have the option to send you the drive, which is much faster than downloading everything in case something, which is almost free, because they send you the drive for like, I think it's $180 up to 4 terabytes. I might be wrong, but I'm just saying something now. And when you send them back the drive, you get the money back for the drive, because they need to buy the drive and send it to you. And if you don't need a drive, you just send it back, and basically it's almost, I think you pay something for shipping and whatever.
Of course,
It's almost
But that's a nice
which
solution.
is a really good solution.
Yeah.
So I can
Where
really
are they
recommend
based?
that. The States.
The States?
Somewhere in the States.
Yeah.
I can really recommend that.
I wonder if
made
there's
my
something like this
whole
in Europe or
process so much
something.
easier. I'm sure there's something, but not for that price.
Yeah.
Because you could do it with Dropbox. That's also States probably, but Dropbox is much more expensive. I think that was up to
they're not unlimited
$30
anymore.
bucks. What was the unlimited? Like $30?
I don't remember.
Even more, maybe.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But no.
that's for me. What's your solution?
Shit, yeah, so it's pretty similar. What I do is I also have the 3-stage process. Mm-hmm. So the first thing is like ongoing projects. I have the editing drive and the hot backups drives.
Yeah.
So essentially, my editing drive is an SSD, Samsung T7 I use at the moment, 4 terabyte, really fast, really convenient. I really like it. I use this for editing. I also have a bunch of T5s that I don't really use anymore because I don't really have the need for them. So T7s, and then I have 2 hot backups. So essentially, I come back from a shoot, I dump all the footage on my T7, my SSD, and I also copy the same files onto 2 different Lassie rugged drives. So these are the orange the padded ones.
Everyone.
Yeah, everyone
owns.
uses them. I have 2 5 terabytes, and these are my hot backups. So I have a ongoing projects and a hot backups, which are essentially the same files. So I edit on the
So 2 copies, 2 backups.
Yeah, 2 backups and 1 working backup, one working
One original.
drive. I edit everything on the T7 and all the assets. If I were to add graphic designs or songs and stuff, I would constantly back up to the 2
You do
other
that
drives.
manually?
Yeah, at the end of each day, I would back this.
But how
up.
do you remember?
It's just like part of the process. Like I finish a day of editing.
But how do you remember which files are new from today or not?
I do. You can just like recopy because the heavy files are the footage.
But what if you
And then the songs
download like 10 songs and 2 images and then graphics and overlays?
I just copy the file
Like when
that's
you
on the
download it?
T7. No, at the end of each day.
But how do you remember what all you downloaded? You have to be
Because
like,
I think
downloaded
for me
this
it's
overlay.
just in the process I start editing. I usually find the songs. I have all the graphics, and within like the first few maybe first day or the first couple of days of editing, all the assets that I have are basically done, and the only thing that I have to back up is the file, the project file, and maybe the After Effects file if I have After Effects. So this is what I do. Like at the end of each day, I back up on these 2 copies. One is coming home with me in my backpack all the time. One is staying at the office.
Oh, one of the backups.
Yeah, one of the backups.
So you manually take them home.
I manually take them home. And what I do also is the project file. So either it's DaVinci or Premiere Pro. I just back up the project file to the cloud.
Yeah.
So it's super light. I have a Dropbox folder for this.
You do that manually as well?
I'll do that manually as well. At the end of each day, I just back it up. So in the event that everything, like my work drives fail, like another drives fail, I still have the project file. If I recover the files, I can like relink everything, which is like the worst case scenario probably. But I have 3 copies of everything, so I should be fine, hopefully.
Yeah.
So this is a process for ongoing projects. As soon as the project is delivered and validated, what I do is I take my SSD and I back up this SSD onto 2, also like the 3.5 hard drives that I have an adapter for. I have like I'm buying
that are usually internally.
That usually
not SSD, HDD.
HDD.
Yeah.
But now that I have like in a belly case as well, and I just use the adapter. And this is the long storage
That's
solution.
like archived.
This is the archive.
archived.
This is the archive. So I back up everything
twice,
and I have one belly case at home and one belly case.
So that's exactly the same archive as I do.
Exactly.
Right?
The only thing that I do differently than you do is you have an in between
this done work RAID.
This done work RAID.
Oh, you don't have that.
That I don't have because to me it's like an extra step, and I don't really see the need because like usually if clients want something like a year or 2 years after, I just go to the archive and I pull this out, and yeah, this is basically what I do. But what I'm really looking into now is Backblaze because we talked about it a little bit a few weeks back. And I think this is a great solution to implement, not to replace necessarily what my process is now, but just to add one extra copy in the cloud. And
especially for small things like your project files.
Exactly.
I mean, these are going to be uploaded very fast and also downloaded very fast.
Exactly.
It's not the actual footage.
Exactly.
It's just a file.
Exactly. So this is definitely something I'm looking into, like implementing into the workflow.
Yeah.
But so far so good. I mean, like this. The only downside is that everything is done manually, so it takes a lot of time to process. This is something
and it's prone to errors because you might forget, you might do something wrong, you might even delete something while copying it.
Yeah, for sure. So this is I'm trying to figure out a way to maybe automate like a little bit of this. I thought about having a NAS system, which is essentially like a RAID drive you have but connected to the internet, and you could have one NAS, UNAS, whatever how it's called, but in the office and one at home, and it would like mirror themselves in 2 different locations, which would essentially solve the problem you have with the RAID system. So
that would be like Backblaze, but on your own.
Backblaze. This is basically your own server.
Your own
server. But like with Backblaze, I don't think this is necessarily like important to have a NAS for the type of work I do.
Yeah.
And so this is the process when I'm editing a lot of, if I'm editing or grading something. And sometimes when I'm just DPing and I'm just shooting stuff, most of the time it goes straight from hard drives to the archive, from like the SSD or like the SSD to the archive, because I don't post-process anything. And if people need to like have some of the footage, I have like 2 copies.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a process, and I've had like drives failing on me like a few times before, and this is always nice to be like, okay, fuck this one is off, this one is good, let's go buy another one and store it. And the difference between my process and yours as well is I keep like 100% of everything I shoot.
Yeah.
So just because I've had instances where the clients, let's say you shoot like a commercial, you edit something, you deliver this, and the client comes back like a year after and like, oh yeah, we also shot, maybe we had like a few B-roll shots of this. We might want to do like a reel campaign or something. And like having
a re-edit of some of the footage.
You re-edit some of the footage. And I don't know, because like the hard drives now are very cheap, and I also charge like a small fee, a storage fee in the invoice I send to the client. So it's
but
basically,
you don't ask them if they need it. You just
I just do it. Yeah,
for every project.
Because like I've had so many instances where like the client comes back. Like I've had a client come back. I think there's a video I made in like 2019 that I've done like 3 different edits of.
Ever since.
So it's just nice for the client not to have to worry about.
Did they talk about this beforehand?
Never.
Or just came back like, dude.
They came back, we
have that stuff?
We need edits of this.
Did they even ask you if you still have it, or just expected?
They just expected.
Shit.
And so I just charged maybe like a couple $100 just to.
But you put it on the offer. But
no, it's part of like my. Very sponsor us. No, it's part of the.
No, I have some.
It's part of the. I don't know in which part. Maybe like the project management part of like the.
Okay. So it's somewhere in there.
My invoice. Yeah, I don't say hard drives.
Yeah.
They probably wouldn't understand. But the cool thing is that I have all these archives, and if someone needs it, like.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so far in 2023, I have. I think like 2 4 terabytes and 2 6 terabytes, so 12.
For archive?
Yeah, for archive. So
8, 12, 20.
I have 20 terabytes, which is not that much. So in total, I have 40 terabytes worth of footage, but it's split it in half.
Yeah.
So 20 terabytes. And I think it's okay, because like you can get like a 6 terabyte hard drive
definitely
is
getting easier,
in 150 or like in 160. So it's pretty good. But Backblaze is definitely something you have to look into.
Yeah, and I think what I didn't mention is the SSD I copy.
Yeah.
Manually. I don't do it manually, luckily. But I copy like on my computer and not only into Backblaze.
Yeah.
So one stays on the computer, and one I can take with me if I need to edit something on the go, or I don't know, if someone else wants to edit it, I can just give him the SSD. That's copied and I would really recommend you do this, because your workflow, it's rather safe, I'd say.
But it's a pain.
But it's a pain to having to have in mind. And also, if you want to leave the work, like, oh shit, I need to go, you need to do this in order to be safe.
Yeah.
Whereas if you use the software, which just automatically copied everything you did on your working SSD to your laces, that are your backups, that would just be so much more.
What's the name of that?
There's definitely different ones.
But there's one everybody uses.
The Carbon Copy
Cloner. Oh yeah, Carbon Copy Cloner.
CCC.
CCC, yeah.
And it's amazing. I've been using it for years in order to, every time. Also, I just shot this documentary with Niels, and we both edited on it. And we needed, each of us had 2 4 terabytes SSDs.
Yeah.
And if I did work, or if we did work together, but he wanted to continue the work at home, and I needed to be able to as well, you needed to manually copy everything we used. We downloaded this song, so I need to.
Yeah.
What we did is set up Carbon Copy Cloner. So one is the master, one is the backup.
Yeah.
And everything we worked on it. We worked on the master. At the end, just plugged in his. It does its magic. It copies everything. It sees the changes you did on the master. It copies it to the backup, and that's it.
Do you have to manually say copy, or does it?
You can adjust everything. You can even.
You could leave it plugged in and it would copy.
Yes.
Okay.
You could even leave it plugged in and not even turn your computer off, because the software is able to turn your computer on,
Whenever.
back it up. You can tell it, like, do it every Sunday at 8 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah.
And you're not even in the office. It turns your computer on, backs it up on the backup, as long as it's attached, of course.
Yes, SSD is in. Yeah.
Turns off your computer again.
And if you unplug if you unplug the SSD while it's backupping, it's okay.
That I don't know. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But that would be a problem even if you do it manually. So
yeah, I guess. No, but it's just like, since you don't control when it's backupping.
oh well, yeah, but you would have to check
Yeah.
that it's. But you're gonna see it because the software is open. It doesn't do it
okay.
like in the background.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, just that's also helping. Like, before you detach any storage, just throw it out. How do you call it?
Eject it.
Eject it.
Yeah.
And then it will tell you, like, this is still backing up.
Yeah,
That makes
for
sense.
sure. Yeah.
If you don't do that, of course, if you just unplug, might be a problem, but you
Yeah.
should never do that anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can really recommend this to you.
I will
because
definitely implement this.
And it's not a subscription based, which
You'd
is a
buy it
pain.
once?
You'd buy it once, you have it. As far as I know, I might be wrong. Maybe they changed, but
That might be nice to have this like plugged
I
in
think
into
you
a RAID.
do need this, because doing this manually, I mean, this takes away time, takes away headaches, and just gives you safety.
So basically, you'd have like, it goes back to like what you do, but like what we could do is we're coming up with like ideas and on the spot, but like
Important.
you'd have your SSD that you travel with all the time, which could be your work drive. You'd have like a RAID in the office and Backblaze.
Exactly.
So you'd have like one.
That's what I
RAID.
have.
Yeah.
Almost.
Basically, almost, yeah.
So
Yeah,
the
we'll have
RAID
to-
is well. The RAID for me is another step. For you, it would be the backup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Of
this
the
could be
working.
nice. And then
Yeah.
it goes up in the cloud.
Yeah.
That might be the way I'm going to try to do things from now on.
Oh, and then you have to archive. You don't have the
The
step in
archive
between,
is
yeah.
the archive is like the last
just-
thing I
yeah.
do, and I think I'm gonna keep on doing like
Yeah,
what
that
I
makes
do because
sense.
like that just makes sense.
And also, you don't do that very often. You just take, like, how often do you put stuff on the archive?
I think every
like
time I have
you-
to delete stuff from my
You need
SSD,
space.
yeah. So like probably like
Like every few months or
no, probably like once a month.
once a month?
Yeah, but it's just like it's a super easy process for me because like I have a really old MacBook that is dedicated for backupping.
Okay.
So I just like plug in my the adapter with like the big archive drives, and I plug like a SSD. What I do is I take my working drive, I just copy it to another SSD, and I just plug the
Right.
SSD in like the thing,
Right.
and I just let it run for like the whole day because like it's a fairly slow thing, but I just let it run all day, and then it's done by the end of the day. So. Pretty good. But I think
makes
like
sense.
I think like now we're talking about it like Backblaze plus the RAID system,
It's perfect.
it would be like the best thing.
So you have your working SSD.
Yeah,
This is backed up on your RAID,
Yeah.
which is
and the
mirrored in
RAID
itself,
goes up in
and the
the
RAID
cloud.
goes up.
Yeah,
That's the only thing is. No, it works. Yeah.
and if you want to be even safer, you could have like a RAID 5 or something.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah,
don't want to
of
mirror, you can have like a RAID 5 and
Yeah.
then. So
Which
RAID
is-
5 is basically like you.
Is
you
that even
split,
safer?
You just split the risk in like on like multiple drives.
But you do that on the RAID 1 too.
Yeah, but you just have like two like
There's two copies.
two
The other you
copies.
have 3 copies.
You'd have 3, yeah, or
Almost.
or something like this.
Yeah.
Not sure about this. Don't quote us on this, but this is definitely this is for sure. And this, of course, like what we're talking about applies to like smaller, like either people like us, like freelancers or smaller companies.
Yeah, whatever work. I mean, yeah.
But whatever
you
wo-
really have to figure out what's your workflow, how often. I mean, yeah.
The workflow doesn't really matter. I think like the points you mentioned in the beginning of this episode, like the rule of thumb, like
These 3
3
rules.
copies, like 2 copies and 1 working copy, and different places.
Yeah.
And,
And
like
the ease
easy-
of use
ease
of your
use.
workflow.
Exactly.
Like for you, I think that's the point. I think your point is safe. You have copies, but your ease of use, to me, that would be a headache. So I think
that's
what you
pretty
need to work
terrible.
on.
Yeah, that's pretty
Like
terrible.
having this. I mean, it's 2023. We have amazing software that
And
takes
fast
away
internet.
fast internet.
Yeah.
And it takes away headaches from us. So why not use that?
So just so I understand, I could use CCC to back up my SSD onto the RAID and schedule the RAID.
I think you don't even need you don't even need the CCC because most RAIDs have a software.
Okay.
For example, Lacy.
Yeah.
have their own. I have a lazy rate.
Yeah.
They have their own software which you can mirror.
You mirror
different,
the SSD, and then you can have
folders on your computer.
You can
say,
ask the
mirror
RAID
this.
to be backed up onto Backblaze.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck, that's what I'm gonna do now.
I think that's your storage solution.
Yeah, that's the best thing.
Yeah, much easier, and it's automated. Fully
It's automated. Yeah.
You never have to do anything. You work on your SSD, everything is backed up.
Yeah. And just one last thing. On Backblaze, do you have like some sort of like an API or something you can go online and see the files that are there and like the
not an API, but just the
website.
You can just go on the website and see every file that's uploaded.
Okay.
And which is amazing. I didn't think they have that, but that's just for $7. It's insane. You have an iPhone app that you can see every single file, and you can even use it like a Google Drive. Like you can send a link of a file to a client, and he can download it.
That's crazy.
Which I at first thought that's the only downside, that not having that compared to Dropbox, which is perfect for that. It's backed up, but it's also like sharing. But Backblaze even can do that. It's not as nice, but it's working. So in case you need to send something that's on there, easy. You don't even need to upload it twice because it's already uploaded. So every file, like if you export a final video, you export it, and the next day you want to send it to the client, it's already on Backblaze. You can just send this link.
Instead of WeTransfer.
Upload it again.
Man, I feel like I'm a caveman.
I feel like you found a new storage flow.
Yeah, my workflow is gonna change.
Yeah, I think that's the perfect wrapping up our episode. You have a new storage solution. We're excited to hear when you
implement
it.
I have to like figure out like what the good rate is I should get, but yeah, I figured that out. But yeah, that was a good one. Thank you, and I'm happy to hear that you didn't lose any files. Yeah.
So for everyone, that's your reminder. Sort out your workflow.
Yeah.
Don't wait till it hits you and you have to learn the hard way. I did. I was lucky. Nothing bad happened, but I'm sure you can ask anyone out there. There's a lot of bad stories.
Horror stories, terrible stories. All right.
Thank you.
Let's go have lunch.
Yeah. Nom nom nom.